Say it with me. Set piece again, ole ole. Set piece again, ole ole. Set piece FC. Set piece FC. Set piece FC, ole ole.
Listen,
Brother, I'm tired. I'm tired of these, man, bro.
I have to say, yeah, I'm going to be the first one to say, big up to Arsenal. Big up to Arsenal, because before ball was even kicked this weekend, it was, you guys are going to Newcastle. They've got something for you.
Yeah.
You're going up against the Shield in Hell in a Cell. You're not coming out alive. Newcastle, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, they got something for you. Everyone writ off this game for Arsenal straight away. And then, when I saw Palace posting Mark Gahey as their poster for the game, I thought, this could be funny against Liverpool. This could throw up something. To have Nketiah, your sleeper agent, score against Liverpool and then to win this weekend and cut the deficit from 5-3, that is a great weekend.
Yeah.
If Arsenal...
2-2. 5-2.
Yeah, 5-2.
Yeah.
If they were to walk away from this weekend, losing to Newcastle, and Liverpool had got the win, all we would be talking about is Arsenal they never make use of these situations. They never capitalise. It's the same story again. And we were 3 minutes away from it.
I can't lie, bro. We was in the room next door.
Yeah.
I literally said it 5 minutes before the kick. I was like, yo, this is eerily the same as it was last year, where Liverpool will drop points and they might not look good this week. And then the floor is yours, Arsenal. Take advantage. And seemed like, bro, no matter what they tried today, it maybe wasn't going to go their way, but some way, somehow, they've done it again, bro. And I think last week we were talking about how Arteta, you know, it was good that he was reactive in terms of he got his things wrong. And this week you kind of saw more of the same of that in terms of the substitutions that came on. They were the ones that made the difference. When he threw on Martinelli, when he threw on Odegaard, when he threw on Marino, those are the guys that made the difference in the end. And credit Marino. I think you said it as well.
Marino, he's the best striker at the club, bro. Mikel Moreno is the best striker at the club. Check his goal scoring rate.
Nah,
he is the best striker at the. Listen, I said it to you next door. Mikel Moreno between this in the paint. That's Shaq.
You say Shaq in the paint.
That's Shaq in the paint. I promise you, this guy's the best striker.
Unstoppable.
He's unstoppable. The quality of the header. First and foremost, Declan Rice, the cross. We have to have serious conversation because everyone's talking about he's just this combustion machine that goes up and down. That guy has delivery on the cross. He can whip a ball. But the technique of the header, because it's the back of the head, it's the little...
It's that flick on, but you need to get a bit of power on it as well. And he's done that a couple of times. I remember last year when he had that number 9 run, you thought, you know what, fair play.
Yep.
He's turned up again. They've actually managed to salvage something from this game.
Yep.
And it was a game where, in the first half, I mean, I thought throughout the whole game, they were the better team, to be honest. They were the only team that were actually trying to win the game, should we say. Newcastle, I felt like they got away early on. Gyökeres with that Nick Pope. I know VAR said they done the check and everything, but I'm like, brother, he definitely got something on Gyökeres. And they'll say he got the touch, but we've seen those types of penalties given. And when that wasn't given, game goes on. Arsenal aren't really able to break them down. They hit the post with Trossard. Then comes Voltemade. And he seems like the...
Voldemort. Man, like Gavin Harris. I can't lie, before Arsenal's got the winner, I was ready to drop all sorts of lips. I was saying, you man are letting Gavin Harris score like this is his goal.
He's had a good start as well to his Newcastle career. Was that 2 goals now so far as well? But the way he just kind of softly touched Gabriel and just moved him off, I was like, hey. This same fixture, was it not Joe Linton last year or the year before? We had this same... Don't let this become a haunting ground for you, lot, where you constantly go here. And now it becomes like what Bolton used to be in yesteryear. Do you remember? But then second half goes on and they're still chipping away. And fair play to them, bro. The one thing about these man, when a set piece gets lined up...
Lunchtime.
Cam said it. They're like penalties at this point, bro. You can't stop it. And I had a feeling. The corner gets lined up and I'm seeing Gabriel and I'm like... All you lot need to do is watch out for him. And fair play to him. He's the one almost gave away a penalty like 5 minutes earlier as well. So it could have been an absolute disaster game for Gabriel. Voltemade dunks on you. You give away a penalty. And you could say maybe the 2 penalties cancel each other out. Game is up for grabs. Dying minutes. You need someone to turn up. And he just said, let me show you, man, why I'm the real leader around here. So,
I'm going to get to the penalty a bit later, but last week we were having a conversation with Coach Cams. Check out the clip where we were talking about whether Arteta was reactive or proactive. What I have to give credit for is across the last 2 games, I've seen a manager that gets ridiculed for his substitutions actually trying to take the impetus in the game. The substitutions today were class. Odegaard, a lot of Arsenal fans in particular have been speaking on him since Eze's come. You know, I get it. You have someone fresh in the door, but he showed why he's captain material today. His second half performance was stellar. And you're seeing what happens when players have the ability for the pressure not all to be on them now. You can rest for 60 minutes and come on. I thought he was great today. I thought the fact that you can bring on a Moreno that he was signed to be a midfielder, but you know what, get between the sticks.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think this victory is not only great because it cuts that deficit to 2 points and they still have to play Liverpool at the Emirates. I think it's a massive mentality moment. Because like I said, Newcastle's always been this team that, yeah, you know, they define the Premier League era of, oh, you're going to bully Arsenal at St. James's Park. Arsenal actually said, you know what, no, we're not going to be bullied today. And I respect it. But furthermore, we have spoken so far this season, the number one narrative is Liverpool are showing champions mentality. They're winning games late. They're winning games late. They did it today. Arsenal dug deep. They got their win.
Yeah.
And a lot of people make fun of the fans that, you know, they celebrate, you know, the equalizers and whatnot. They can celebrate all they want today because their team showed up and they capitalized on the moment finally. When your opposition lose in the title race, you have to show up.
I think that's what it is.
You have to dig deep.
Previous years, they would have maybe gone on to draw
Yeah.
and they would have just walked away with that and kind of been content with that. I think the fact that they went on to win the game,
Yeah.
you could give them a tip of that. I think some individuals talk about as well. I thought Timber today, the way
Stellar.
he had Gordon on absolute lock. I think he is becoming a contender for arguably one of them.
Most important
Where
players.
does he rank in the world? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got the likes of Hakimi, of course, and he is right up there in my opinion, bro. Defensively, what he can do, I still think in terms of going forward, he can add a little bit more to his game.
Yeah.
But bro, he is like the complete right back. He's a weapon, bro, and he just keeps getting better every week. Another one, I think Saka, we need to touch on a little bit as well. Obviously, coming back from an injury, he just hasn't started this season in the same way you're kind of used to seeing a Saka level.
Yeah.
I think, look, if Arsenal are winning games and Saka's not at his best,
Yeah.
it's a great thing.
Yeah.
But if they're really going to go out and try and really win this title, Saka needs to come back on form and really hit the ground running, in my opinion.
What I would say to that is similar to the Odegaard point. I mean, obviously Nani's out for a few months, but Nani's performances were warming the hearts of Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
You had this Martinelli roll off the bench, which was moving Arsenal fans. You have Trossard finding his place.
Options.
They have options, and again, fair play to Arteta. The last 2 games in particular, it's almost like he's understanding how he can utilize his depth, because there's no point in having depth if you don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
If you don't know where to put people or specific roles, like this Martinelli lone striker running the channels role works with him. And I think Saka needs the time to get up to the races. Like, he's been carrying this team for a long time.
Facts,
and I think you're seeing the difference in Odegaard not being burnt out. Imagine if Saka gets 3 games to kind of really bed his time
Adjust
in.
himself,
and then
yeah.
when they're really in the midst of it, those fixtures, he's back firing again. I think that can help them. So you've got to give, honestly, you've got to give Arsenal credit, man. Like, I looked at that performance, and again, Newcastle are not an easy side, even if they're not playing well. I saw moments where Elanga was on a tear. I'm seeing Liverpool do craziness. Like, they're a team that have loads of weapons, but people say they might got lucky. People talk about the Gabriel incident, whether that's a pen or not. I don't think it's a pen because it comes off the shin. But I think that's a whole nother topic in terms of Premier League referees and VAR, which we're going to get into.
Bruv.
But I want to ask you this, Fuad. It's 2 points separating both teams. With Liverpool, we saw a team that have been almost like no real thoughts because they won all their games.
Yeah.
And they conceded a late minute goal against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
You see, on the Arsenal team that have kind of got criticism here and there, they score a late minute goal against Newcastle. And now we go from sort of very different narratives to we have a title challenged again. Let's forget about agendas. Let's forget about the narratives that Sky Sports are trying to push and whatnot.
Yeah.
When we're looking at both of these teams in this moment, and forget about this weekend as well. With Liverpool, we saw a team that have been almost like no real thoughts because they won all their games.
Yeah.
And they conceded a late minute goal against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
You see, on the Arsenal team that have kind of got criticism here and there, they score a late-minute goal against Newcastle. And now we go from sort of very different narratives to we have a title challenge again. Let's forget about agendas. Let's forget about the narratives that Sky Sports are trying to push and whatnot.
Yeah.
When we're looking at both of these teams in this moment, and forget about this weekend as well, what are your thoughts on how this title race can be?
But the thing is, this is why you don't make almost like definitive statements 4 or 5 games into the
Facts.
season, because like things can change so quickly within 2 games or within one game. You can't just like rule someone out of a title or say one team is definitive. You can think one team is probably favourites for it, but listen, I don't think for me this week really changes anything. I know Liverpool drop points and we'll get onto them or whatever, and they haven't really started great in terms of performances, but they've been ticking the boxes in terms of the results. Arsenal, you could say maybe performances have been hit and miss as well, but then they've been almost, you feel like, getting better week on week. And listen, I don't feel like they've really got all of their players firing on all cylinders as well. As we said, Saka's just coming back from the injury. I think Gyökeres, for me, I don't know, Arsenal fans, you can tell me what you think early doors, but I was saying last week, if he's just like a flat track bully that comes in and kind of pops up with over 15 goals this season in the league, they'll be content with that. But in terms of just like the overall performance, I think you'll want a little bit more. So I look at both teams and I'm like, I don't think these are the best versions of either one of them. I think the races, we're going to have a race. Who is involved in that race? I think at the start of the season, people were probably a lot more open. Think you guys were probably including yourselves. City were thinking we could have a little bit of a comeback. But for me, it's always been Liverpool and Arsenal. And then it's a case of, I always thought Liverpool did more in the market, the way they spent, the caliber of players that they bought. And it would be a tough job for Arsenal to catch up to them. The only thing Arsenal can do is, go to stadiums like St. James's Park, where it hasn't been a happy hunting ground, show character, show performance, and show that you want it. And I think today, that's one thing Arsenal fans will take from the game is they went away and Newcastle were doing a backs to the wall job at their ground. When it's meant to be, we're defending and we're going to play on the counter maybe, but Arsenal are actually taking the game to them. And I think that's what a lot of people were criticising last week over Arteta. If you really want to go for this title, you've got to be the A side in 90% of these games, even if it's a City side that historically you're kind of scared of or whatever. This is the year to really take the game to him. And I think this game was one of those where you're like, all right, you know what, fair play. This is a check in the box of we're a little bit more serious this year. Do you know what I mean? So
I think another standout thing as well, Mascara, who's been really great. Bit of a difficult game for him, but again, depth, you're able to just say, bro, it's all right. Saliba. Saliba. Like, Arsenal are in an interesting spot, and it's a great thing for them.
Healthy.
I was mentioning how I think that Moreno is the best centre forward at their at their club, but I think we do have to speak about Victor Gyökeres. I have to be honest. I think even though he didn't score a goal today, probably his most complete performance yet. What are your thoughts on him? And also, this is the question I've got for you and for the chat as well. Is he one of these players that's super unfortunate because of his style of play? No matter what he does, he's going to get ridiculed. Because I thought he did decent today.
I mean, but that's the thing is, I feel like he's almost gonna be hard to rate, in my opinion, because of the age he's coming in at 27. You're not really given that kind of room for growth, or you don't really have much of an upside. What you see is what you get, and I think that's almost like a little bit of the fear with him is, okay, if this is him, can we build a title-winning side with this? Because the number 9 position has been an issue for Arsenal over the last couple of years. This summer was all about, we're going to address that. We're going to sign a killer, and that's who's going to come in. And in my opinion, when they signed Gyökeres, I didn't think he was that killer that is going to deliver them the title. I was looking at Isaac. Even Sesko, I was thinking was like a huge gamble. But Gyökeres, it was still a little bit of a gamble. For me, he doesn't look aesthetically, and I hate that word, but when I see him, I don't see a top tier number 9. The way he holds up the ball, the way he links up play, I don't think his touches aren't very clean either.